right? QD is 100 minus 2P, QS is minus 20 plus 3, right? Calculate the equilibrium price and quantity, okay? Calculate the equilibrium price and quantity, right? So everybody can follow equilibrium price and quantity. This is a basic calculation. Still, if you have any problem in this area, you can catch up from this, right? So 100 minus 2P is equal to minus 20 plus 3P, okay? 100 minus 2P is equal to minus 20 plus 3P. Then what happens is, this minus 20 in the right side comes to the left side. And basic then explain பண்றேன் அதுதான் தேவை எங்களுக்கு நிறைய பேர் frustration வந்து basic miss ஆயிட்டுன்னு சொல்றது. Therefore for everybody I'm balancing and going. Therefore these basic things even I'm explaining, right? So 100 minus 2P is equal to minus 20 plus 3P. Now we are taking this minus 20 to the left side. Therefore it becomes 120, right? So that is equal to this minus 2P is going to the right side. So 5P. So 5P is equal to 120. Okay, 5P is equal to 120. If you want, you can write like this. Then equilibrium price is equal to 120 divided by 5. So 120 divided by 5. Right. So the equilibrium price is 24 rupees. Okay. Equilibrium price is 24 rupees. Then you have to find out the equilibrium quantity. So equilibrium quantity when you find, you can substitute the equilibrium price either in the demand equation, otherwise in the supply equation. You can substitute the equilibrium price either in the demand equation or in the supply equation, right? So again, students, now exercise 2 in halfway we have done. No, don't worry about that. We'll finish the exercise 3. And if you want, you can do the exercise 2 again. Otherwise, with the government intervention, we can go for that. Don't worry about that, right? Okay, now we will continue this. Right. So now I am going to substitute this equilibrium price in the demand function. If you wish, you can substitute in the supply function also. So 100 minus 2 into 24. Okay. Therefore, 100 minus 48. 100 minus 48. Okay. So, 52 units. 52 units equilibrium quantity. Therefore, don't forget, equilibrium price is 24 rupees, equilibrium quantity 52 units. Okay. So everybody understood price and quantity? Right. Then see, if you get an equation method question, right? That is from the unit 2 or unit 3, equation method questions if you get, you'd better have a rough diagram in the side of that. And to draw this rough diagram, normally you won't be given any marks. Anyway, if you have a rough diagram, whatever the mistakes you make also, you can correct these. Therefore, everybody, I don't want to say extra. I am not going to say this additionally. You all do this work. How? Soon after getting the equilibrium price and quantity, as a practice, you draw a demand and supply curve in the side and keep. Then that will be very easy for you, right? So accordingly, I'm just drawing a rough diagram here. So in this rough diagram, price is 24, quantity is 52 units. Okay. Demand and supply have drawn. Right. That is clear, no? Equilibrium price and quantity. Right. Then let's come to the second part, CS and PS at equilibrium, right? So it is another important calculation. அது எவ்வளோ இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் சொல்லிட்டு நான் சொல்ல தேவையில்லை. everybody knows that consumer surplus, producer surplus, than market equilibrium, one of the most important areas. One is the consumer surplus, producer surplus. Along that, elasticity of demand and supply are also important. So when it comes to the consumer surplus, if I consumer surplus discuss you don't know anything about the consumer surplus. In that way, I'm going to discuss. Consumer surplus na innande theriya. This is assumption that I'm going to discuss the consumer surplus. Therefore, everybody please try to catch this. Right. So first of all, remember, if you want to calculate the consumer surplus, don't write this, just listen. If you want to calculate the consumer surplus, okay? If you want to calculate the consumer surplus or producer surplus, consumer surplus calculation and answer, producer surplus calculation and answer, simply quantity into price change over 2. If simple, okay? Consumer surplus or producer surplus, quantity into price change over 2. This is a common equation. Now, if you have forgotten the specific equation for CS and PS in the final exam, then if you apply this equation even, most probably you can get the full marks. Consumer surplus mattumilla, producer surplus is common. Now listen, consumer surplus, producer surplus, whatever the thing you have to calculate, quantity into price difference divided by 2. Right. Now, consumer surplus, listen very much carefully. Let's take the consumer surplus. Consumer surplus in the quantity in our consumers and the demand. So quantity should be QD. Quantity should be QD. Now, what about the delta P? Consumer surplus neram sales. Delta P is consumers this one. And this point is the maximum demand price. Okay. This is the maximum demand price. Up in the maximum demand price over price. A price difference in the QD into maximum demand price minus consumer buyer's price. But one thing you must understand, if you refer the teacher's guide la thandigirananda market equilibrium la ulla CSPS the equation mattumதான் thandi. That's 100% correct. Seridane. Teacher's guide equation, consumer surplus and producer surplus only for market equilibrium. அப்ப அதோட மீனிங் என்னண்டா உங்களுக்கு மத்ததுக்கு கால்குலேட் பண்ண படாதுன்றது இல்ல. You must get the additional cases by using that as the basis. Unfortunately, some students and some teachers even sometimes அதை மட்டும் தான் படிக்கிறது. Some question, நிறைய questions அது okay, suitable, but some questions are there and the equation set ஆகும். Therefore, try to understand QD, okay? Q சொன்னா QD. Delta P means maximum demand price minus buyer's price divided by 2. That's consumer surplus. Then when it comes to producer surplus, producers and Q and our QS varum. Producers na QS, consumers na QD varum. Consumers na QD, producer na QS. Consumers price difference என்ன வரணும்? Maximum demand price minus buyer's price. Producer surplus price difference என்ன வரும்? Producers in sellers தானே? அப்ப sellers price. Sellers price minus minimum supply price வரும். Because why? This is the maximum demand price. This is the minimum supply price. What is below is minimum supply price. What is the above maximum demand price. Both divided by 2. அப்ப இவ்வளோ சிம்பிளா நாங்க கன்சியூமர் சர்ப்ளஸ் ப்ரொடியூசர் சர்ப்ளஸ் ஈக்குவேஷனை derive பண்ணிடும். Therefore, rather than memorizing consumer surplus and producer surplus equation, if you have the strategy of getting that equation by using these techniques, you will never forget. In case if you forget even, you know how to get this, so you will definitely get it. Okay? So let's start the work. Anybody having doubts in this? Please ask. Again, students, I'll summarize now. Consumer surplus calculate பண்ற நேரம் Q சொல்றது QD. Delta P means maximum demand price minus buyer's price over 2. Producer surplus Q means QS. Delta P seller's price minus minimum supply price over 2. For this, right. Some of you are asking to repeat. Now, இதுக்கு number support செய்யற நேரம் automatically it will be repeated. Okay? Right. Okay. So let's start now. Right. First of all, இப்போ நாங்க in the equation method, when you calculate the consumer surplus, okay, when you calculate the consumer surplus using equation method, first step, okay, first step is calculating the maximum demand price. Graphல நான் calculate பண்ண தேவையில்லை because in the graph it will be reflected directly. தெரியுதானே? Equation methodல consumer surplus calculate பண்ற நேரம், the first step is what? Maximum demand price calculation. All right. So how to find the maximum demand price? When finding the maximum demand price, you want to have QD equals, QD must be equal to 0. அது ஏன் QD must be equal to 0 னு போடுவோம்? Because maximum demand price in the sense, the highest price ever in the market. The highest price ever in the market சொன்னா என்ன? அந்த priceல people will not come forward to buy. In other words, if I say, when there is a zero demand, how much is the price? Maximum demand price சொல்றது அந்த ப்ராடக்ட்டுக்கு கன்சியூமர்ஸால கொடுக்கலுமான highest price. அப்ப அந்த highest priceல the demand will be the lowest. What is that lowest? That is 0. So then QD 100 minus 2P is equal to 0, right? 100 minus 2P is equal to 0. So 100 is equal to 2P. 2P. So price is equal to 50. Okay? Maximum demand price is 50. Understand well and write the answers. If you didn't understand, don't write. No use. நீங்க விளங்காம ஆன்சர் பண்ண வேணாம். If you didn't understand, ask. Okay? Right. So maximum demand price, how much came? 50 came. 50. Right? Okay. So once the maximum demand price equation is written, then write the consumer surplus equation. Consumer surplus is equal to, order நான் சொல்லிக்கிறேன், QD into maximum demand price minus buyer's price. Okay? QD into maximum demand price minus buyer's price over 2. Over 2. Understood? Right. Maximum demand price is QD equals 0, 100 minus 2P is equal to 0, 100 is equal to 2P, price is 50. Now, consumer surplus equation, QD into maximum demand price minus buyer's price over 2. Don't forget this. Then see, QD is 52. 52, right? Maximum demand price is 50. Buyer's price is 24. Okay. Then see divided by 2. Okay. Divided by 2. Right. So then, how much is coming? 52 into 26 over 2. How much is the answer? Right. The answer is 676. No? 676. Answer is 676. 676. Right. So we got the consumer surplus. Right. After finding the consumer surplus, I hope you all are writing the answers, right? Right. Now, 676. Consumer surplus 676 came. Now we will calculate the producer surplus. Okay. Producer surplus we'll calculate. So producer surplus when we calculate, for that also the first step, when we calculate the producer surplus using equation method, you have to find out the minimum supply price first. Okay. First of all, minimum supply price. So minimum supply price என்ன? ஒரு ப்ரொடியூசர்ஸுக்கு சார்ஜ் பண்ண ஏழுமான lowest ever price. The lowest price ever that could be charged by a producer for the product, for a unit. சரிதானே? அப்ப minimum supply price சொல்ற டைம்ல QS is equal to 0. Maximum demand price QD is equal to 0. Minimum supply price QS is equal to 0. Okay. So what is the QS? Minus 20 plus 3p. Minus 20 plus 3p is equal to 0. Minus 20 plus 3p is equal to 0. So minus 20 plus 3p is equal to 0. Then 3p is equal to 20. 3p is equal to 20. Then what is the price? Price equals 20 over 3. Price equals 20 over 3. So what is 20 over 3? Calculate. It is 6.66 coming, no? So you can say, you can round off 6.67. So let's keep 6.7, okay? 6.7. 6.7. So mention that value 6.7. Right. Right. So we will keep 6.7 and do, right? Okay. Minimum supply price 6.7 or 6.6 if you keep also not wrong, because when we round off 6.666 recurring, no. So in that way approximation 6.7 or 6.6, no problem. That won't be an issue, right? Then the producer surplus equation. Producer surplus equation. Right. So producer surplus is equal to QS into seller's price minus minimum supply price over 2. QS into seller's price minus minimum supply price over 2. QS into seller's price minus minimum supply price over 2. Right. Then see QS is 52. Seller's price 24. Minimum supply price 6.7. 6.6 போட்டாக்கள் அதுக்கு மாதிரி ஆன்சரை பாருங்க. It's not a problem. Don't change to 6.7. இப்போ நான் 6.7 போட்டு தானே செஞ்சுட்டு if you have taken 6.6 and continuing, don't change that. உங்களோட ஆன்சரும் சரிதான். Divided by 2. Right. Then 52 into 24 minus 6.7. 20, 18, 17.3 over 2. 52. What is the answer for that? Can somebody tell me the producer plus answer? It is 449.8. Yeah. Number is not the issue. I think calculation method clear and okay. Calculation. Final exam number important that. Okay. Right. Now just to do this method. Method numbers one or two issues, no issue, no problem. But in the final exam, make sure that you are doing the calculation also so perfectly, right? Okay. Right. So please tell me one by one. Consumer surplus, produce surplus, perfect. I will do one more question also, don't worry. Up to this, are you all okay with the consumer surplus and producer surplus? Yeah, if you have taken the minimum supply price 6.6, 452 something is coming. Yeah, no problem, right? It's in a difference that they will accept it, right? Okay, so first question, equilibrium price and quantity we have done. Second, consumer surplus and producer surplus at equilibrium. Also we have done. I hope the CS and PS clear, right? Okay, now see. Okay, now let's come to the third part. Okay, third part. Or market equilibrium question la regular var areas theriyane. But the regular var areas மாதிரியான questions தான் நீங்க விளங்கிக்கணும் first. After that, we can do some additional cases in the model papers. Okay, right. அப்ப PES and PED and PES at equilibrium, right? Let's see PED at equilibrium. நல்லா ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கணும். Equation methodல PED calculation, it can come for the equilibrium or not, can come for another one, no problem. எப்படி வந்தாலும் we are using always delta QD over delta P into P over QD. PD is equal to delta QD over delta P, okay? Delta QD over delta P into P over QD. This is the only equation you will start with to find the P. Right? Delta QD over delta P into P over QD, right? Then see, this delta Q, இதை கூட நான் பேசிக்ல இருந்து தான் போறேன். எல்லாரும் தெரிஞ்ச விஷயம் தான். Anyway, delta QD or delta P is given as B. Delta QD or delta P ன்னு சொல்றது we are writing as B. So B into P over QD. So why we are writing as B? Delta QD or delta P தான் slope. Delta QD or delta P into P over QD. So B into P over QD. So what is B? What is B? Minus 2. பேசிக்கா நீங்க ஒழுங்கா கேட்ச் பண்ணும் வரைக்கும் நான் கொஞ்சம் ஸ்லோவா போறது தட் இஸ் ஃபார் யோர் பெனிஃபிட். யாருக்காவது மிச்சம் ஸ்லோ மாதிரி விளங்கினா ப்ளீஸ் டெல் மீ பிகாஸ் நார்மலி ஃபாஸ்ட் ட்ராக் ப்ரோக்ராம்ஸ் பிகினிங் இப்படித்தான் எப்பவும் நான் செய்யறது. தட் இஸ் வெரி மச் யூஸ்ஃபுல். தட்ஸ் வை, ரைட்? ஓகே, ஸோ minus 2 into what is the price? 24. Okay, minus 2 into 24 divided by 52. And you will get a value. That value you have to put, right? Then the PES, sorry. When you find the PES, okay, PES when you find, PES, right, PES is delta QS over delta P into P over QS. Delta QS over delta P into P over QS, right? Delta QS over delta P is given as what? You know, delta QS over delta P is B. So B into P over QS. So what is B? 3. நல்லா ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கணும். QD ல வர B வந்து -2, QS ல வர B வந்து +3. A minus BP, A plus BP, no? So into price. What is the price? 24. Because the question is to calculate the PES at equilibrium. That's why we are putting 24, right? Over 52. And you will be writing the relevant number. Okay, right. So now we have understood how to calculate PED and PES at equilibrium if the equation method market equilibrium questions come. But இதுக்கு தாண்டி ஒரு மெத்தட் ஒன்று இல்லை. நீங்க எந்த பாஸ் பேப்பர்ஸ் எடுத்தாலும் சரி, சப்போஸ் லெட்ஸ் சே பாஸ் பேப்பர்ஸ் ஃப்ரம் 2000, ஸோ 2000 to 2025 நீங்க எந்த இயர் எடுத்தாலும் சரி, மார்க்கெட் equilibrium ஈக்குவேஷன் மெத்தட் PED PES at equilibrium calculation beyond this 100% sure no anything other than this. அப்ப இதுதான் எங்களோட இன்ஃபர்மேஷன். ஸோ கெட் த இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் கரெக்ட்லி. சும்மா கலர்ஃபுல்லா அந்த கலர்ஃபுல் டிஸ்கஷன் இல்லை, ரைட்? இட் இஸ் சம்திங் யூஸ்ஃபுல் டிஸ்கஷன். Therefore, get the maximum, right? Doubts vanda keluங்க. So get the maximum. Think that you have few months to the exam. So from zero, you can work out and you can get above 75 very easy, inshallah, right? But very important thing, your consistent participation, right? Okay. So, PED at equilibrium confirm, PES at equilibrium confirm. In the PED and PES, நான் ஒரு 3 months ஒரு exam வச்சா கூட, you must be able to get the maximum the scope. That is the one consistent learning. But some students are there, they are learning when that heading is going on. Sometimes in the heading நாங்க செய்யற டைம்ல all will be perfect, all will be expert in this heading. அதோட sometimes ஒரு 3-4 weeks வரைக்கும் போகும். When I start another module, இந்த module வரதெல்லாம் மறந்துடும் சில டைம்ல. அப்ப no use of doing this. அப்ப always remember continuous practice, continuously work, right? So all are capable. So யாருமே இந்த low grade, the slow learners அப்படி ஒரு term இல்லை இந்த crowdல. So everybody can do that. ஒரே ஒரு problem தான், some of you all have missed many things in the beginning. That is why you all are a little bit suffering. அதுக்குள்ள ஒரு solution தான் இந்த program. So get the maximum, inshallah, right? Okay. So PED and PES we have got, right? Now let us go to the fourth question. Excess demand at rupees 20. Excess demand at rupees 20. Right. So let's start the excess demand. Yeah, third question, final answer I didn't check. That's the calculation. No, அதனால நான் செக் பண்ணல. அப்ப PEDல வந்து B வேல்யூ -2ன்றது கிளியர் தானே? PEDல B வேல்யூ -2, PESல B வேல்யூ +3. Okay? Because delta QD over delta P into P over QD. Delta QD over delta P தான் -2. அது என்னண்டா slope of the demand equation. The slope of the demand equation delta QD over delta P தானே? So that is the one we are putting there. Supply லையும் அதே மாதிரி. Okay? Right. Now let's come to the next one. Excess demand at rupees 20. So excess demand is equal to QD minus QS. Excess demand is equal to QD minus QS. இப்போ நாங்கள் என்ன செய்யணும்டா, இந்த ரெண்டு ஃபங்க்ஷன்லையும் தந்த ப்ரைஸை சப்ஸ்டியூட் பண்ணோம். நாங்கள் சில டைம்ல நினைக்கிறது பேசிக் திங் தானே. ஆஃப்கோர்ஸ் இட்ஸ் அ பேசிக் திங். ஆனால் நீங்கள் பாஸ் பேப்பர்ஸை பாருங்க, தேர் ஆர் லாட்ஸ் ஆஃப் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் ஆன் திஸ் ஏரியா. எந்த அளவுக்கு தான் ரீசென்ட்லி ஆல்சோ கொஸ்டின், இஃப் தேர் இஸ் அன் எக்ஸஸ் டிமாண்ட் வாட் வில் ஹேப்பன் டு பிரைஸ்? அவ்வளோ பேசிக் கொஸ்டின். நாங்கள் ஏன் ஃப்ரஸ்ட்ரேட் ஆகிறேன்டா, நாங்கள் ஏக்கோன் கஷ்டம் நினைக்கிறேன்டா, நீங்கள் ஒரு 50 MCQ ஒரு பேப்பர் எடுத்து அது ஒரு 5 அன்காமன் கொஸ்டின்ஸை கண்ட உடனே பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் தட் 5 கொஸ்டின்ஸ் யூ வில் ஜஸ்ட் வேஸ்ட் த ரிமைனிங் 45 கொஸ்டின்ஸ். அந்த ஃபியர் இல்லாம ஆக்குறது தான் என்னோட மெயின் இன்டென்ஷன், ரைட்? அப்ப எக்ஸஸ் டிமாண்ட் எப்பவுமே QD மைனஸ் QS தான். அப்ப இந்த ஈக்குவேஷன்ல டிஃபரன்ஸ் இல்லை தானே. எந்த சிச்சுவேஷன் வந்தாலும் எக்ஸஸ் டிமாண்ட் இஸ் ஈக்குவல் டு QD மைனஸ் QS. ஸோ அப்ப QD, see this QD function 100 minus 2p no. அப்ப 100 minus 2 into 20. Why is that? 20 rupees ல தானே excess demand calculate பண்ண சொல்லிக்கிறது. Therefore, please give me a few minutes. Okay, we'll continue. Right. Right. So, excess demand, we have been discussing the excess demand. So, excess demand at rupees 20. So, excess demand is equal to QD minus QS. Then, just give me two seconds, right? Right. Excess demand. Okay. Upper excess demand, I said QD minus QS. Okay. Upper ரெண்டு functionsலையும் you must substitute for excess demand one QD என்ன 100 minus 2p தானே. அப்ப 100 minus 2 into 20. Okay. Then excess supply QS தானே minus 20. So minus 20 plus 3 into 20. Yeah. So what we do is 2 into 20, 40, 100 minus 40, 60 minus 2 into 40, 40 minus 20, 20. Now what is the excess demand? 40 units. Okay. Excess demand 40 units thane. Excess demand 40 units. Right? Right. So now excess supply is equal to QS minus QD. So in this also, in both the function, you must put the same number. Excess supply put is 13. So what we do is minus 20 plus 3 into 30 minus 100 minus 2 into 30. Right. So 90 minus 20, 70 minus 100 minus 60, 40. So excess supply 30 units. Excess supply 30 units. Okay. அப்ப excess demand கேட்டாலும் excess supply கேட்டாலும் in both the functions you must put the price what is given here. So excess demand at the price of 20 னு கேட்டா in QD function also for price we are putting 20 and QS function also for price we are putting 20. அதே மாதிரி excess supply ல 30 rupees excess supply ல QS function also price 30, QD function also price 30. Okay. Right. So we have completed the exercise 3, right? Okay, now see just a sample. 2020 question number 2, fourth part. Now see how the questions are coming. All of you know this question also. So it's a well-known question. So see, demand and supply functions are given. Equilibrium price and quantity 2 marks. Total surplus. Total surplus means consumer surplus and producer surplus for that 2 marks, right? Then, okay, uh, price elasticity of demand for bread at the price of 60. So not at the equilibrium. So at another price they are asking. Okay, right. So like this, so many questions are coming, right? So just make sure that excess demand, excess supply, the values, just cross check. Sometimes my answers, the final numbers might be wrong. கொஞ்சம் check பண்ணுங்க. Right, exercise 3 is okay. Right. Now, shall we do one small calculation like this, or can we go to the next heading, changes in market equilibrium? Okay, we'll do a small calculation and continue, right? Quickly take this question. Okay, one by one, I will give the question. Quickly answer. One by one, we'll discuss and go, right? Okay, start. QD equals 50 minus 2P, QS equals minus 10 plus 10, right? First one, equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. Quickly answer. Okay, so 50 minus 2P. Okay, 50 minus 2P is equal to minus 10 plus 10P. Then 60 is equal to 12P. Equilibrium price 60 divided by 12 is equal to 5. So it's 5 rupees, right? Equilibrium quantity 50 minus 2 into 5. So 50 minus 10 is equal to 40 units. Okay. Price is 5, quantity is 40. Price is 5, quantity is 40. So you can have a rough diagram quickly. Right? So 5 and 4. Okay? 5 and 4. Right. Now come to the second question. Second question. PED and PES at equilibrium. Right. Start quickly. Quickly calculate. PED and PES at equilibrium. So PED, delta QD over delta P into P over QD. B into P over QD. So B is minus 2 into minus 2. Can you understand? This is this minus 2. Okay. Into price is 5, quantity is 4. Okay. So minus 0.25 P. Right? PED minus 0.25. Like that, PES, PES, delta QS over delta P into P over QS. B into P over QS. So what is B? 10. B is 10. Price is 5. Quantity 40. Okay. B is 10. Price is 5. Quantity 40. So 5 over 4. P is 5 over 4. So 1.25. PED at equilibrium minus 0.25. PES at equilibrium plus 1.25. Okay. Right. Now, PED and PES okay. Now come to the next question. Okay. Come to the next question. Consumer surplus, producer surplus, and economic surplus at equilibrium. Start quickly. Consumer surplus calculation, maximum demand price is 25. Then CS, QD into maximum demand price minus buyer's price over 2. So QD 40, maximum demand price 25 minus 5 over 2. Then if you have doubt, please tell. 40 into 20 over 2. So then consumer surplus becomes 400 rupees. Okay? Consumer surplus 400. That is at equilibrium. Right? Then the producer surplus will try. To find the producer surplus, you need the minimum supply price minus 10 plus 10p is equal to 0. Minus 10 plus 10p is equal to 0. Then 10p is equal to 10. Price equals 1. Okay. So minimum supply price is 1. Minimum supply price is 1. Then producer surplus QS into seller's price minus minimum supply price over 2. So QS is 40. It's at equilibrium of 40 into seller's price is 5. Minimum supply price is 1 over 2. So that is 80 rupees. Producer surplus 80 rupees. So consumer surplus 400 rupees, producer surplus 80 rupees. Therefore, the economic surplus 480 rupees. Economic surplus 480 rupees. Okay. So the producer surplus 80, consumer surplus 400, economic surplus 480 rupees. Okay. Right. Now come to the next question. Inshallah, we'll have a break at 9 o'clock. Okay. Don't leave. Right. 9 o'clock, I will give a break. Now see the fourth one. Calculate the PED and PES at rupees 3. That means, some past papers are there, but I have shown now also 2020. PED and PES, they might ask not for an equilibrium. So then if that is so, how the answer? You see, PED and PES at 3 rupees. Then when you calculate the PED, ultimately that is B into P over QD தானே? PED வந்து B into P over QD தானே ஃபைனலா. Now B is minus 2. B is minus 2 no? Into price is given 3. Price is given. Then if the price is 3, quantity on the 40 varadane. If the price is 3, quantity will not be 40. Okay. Third question la consumer surplus 400, producer surplus 80. Up economic surplus 400 plus 80, 480. That is the third question. Okay. Now the fourth question, calculate the PED at rupees 3. Our PED ultimately B into P over QD. In example, delta QD over delta P into P over QD. The next step you will write B into P over QD. Then B into P over QD. B is what? Minus 2. That's the demand function. B. Price is what? Given price 3. If 3 rupees price quantity 40 varadane. You won't be getting quantity 40. Then what you have to do is 3 rupees, how much is the QD like that you have to find. You have to find the QD at 3 rupees. That means what? QD is equal to QD is equal to 50 minus 2 into 3. Okay. QD is equal to 50 minus 2 into 3. So that is 50 minus 6. Then what? 44. QD என்ன வரணும் 44 வரும். QD will be 44. If you can't understand, ask me again, I'll explain. Right. So therefore, for this, an answer will come. You can check that answer. I will written now 3 over 22 வரும். Okay. So you'll get an answer. Example, these final answers also very easy. இப்போ நாங்க இப்போ செய்யற questions வந்து we are doing some certain questions. Therefore, we are putting purposely some hard questions I put in the exam and the discussions. But final exam are just 1.5, 2.5, that kind of easy numbers only come. Right. Our PED at rupees 3 we found. Right. Now, we'll find the PES also at the price of rupees 3. PED okay. We'll find the PES at rupees 3. Okay. So, when it comes to the PES, see this PES is equal to B into P over QS. B into C over QS. So, what is B here? So B into P over QS. So B is what? 10. Price is 3. Price is 3. Then 3 rupees if you substitute in this function. QS is equal to minus 10 plus 10 into 3. Price for the 3 is so minus 10 minus 10 plus 30. Therefore, 21 QS. If QS is 20, it's going to be minus, sorry, not minus, plus 1.5. PES 1.5. Okay? PES 1.5. Right. Now, we'll come to the next part of the question. Okay, now come to the next question. Calculate the CS and PS at rupees 3. Right. So now at the price of 3. So 3 rupees will be somewhere here. Okay. At the price of 3, you want to find the CS and PS. Now when you find the CS, QD into maximum demand price minus bias price over 2. Okay. QD into maximum demand price minus bias price over 2. So at the price of 3, first of all, you have to find the QD. We have already found for the PED calculation. No? So it is 44. So 44 into maximum demand price is 25. Maximum demand price is 25. Buyer's price is 3. That means at 3 rupees, no, they ask 3 over 2. Therefore, 44 into 22 over 2. Okay. And you can get the answer for that. Method is clear, no? QD into maximum demand price minus buyer's price over 2. QD at the price of 3, QD is 44. You have to find out for the price of 3. Maximum demand price already 25, price is 3. Therefore, 44 into 22 over 2. Is it clear for you? Right. Then produce a surplus when you calculate. Produce a surplus. Now, what we have found is, see this buyer's price, QD, maximum demand price. This is the area we have found now. இந்த ஏரியா தான் calculate பண்ணிக்கிறோம். Consumer surplus. Okay. Now we are going to find the producer surplus. Producer surplus QS into seller's price minus minimum supply price over. So what is QS 40? Seller's price is 3 now. Because at 3 rupees now we are asked to calculate 3 minus 1 over 2.